So I've just finished Power of the Doctor, as has everyone else, and honestly, I'm still trying to process all of it, quite honestly. That was absolutely fantastic, and I think that's the words that everyone will be using to sum it up. Where do we start? Good God. I guess we start from the beginning with the train scene. A few things that I noticed from that. I have a feeling that one of the train guards was Joe Sims, who plays Mark 7 in Big Finish, though I may be wrong. It was quite nice to see that if it was. And of course, the Cybermasters are back. Cybermasters, but this time they're a bit more. Not as ceremonial, that's more towards the leaders, they're more battle hardened. It was quite good to see them return, and of course, to see Chibnall kind of bring them back to form with more ruthless and efficient kind of a look. As well as the voices, and I think the voices may have been based off of the Code Silver voices that Nick Briggs did for the audio, though I may be wrong on that one. The Cybermen in general this episode, it was a more Cybermen-oriented story, even though it was a Master story, obviously. I think, honestly, it was a very good story for the Cybermen. The Daleks, on the other hand, I really don't see a need for them to have been there. Yes, of course, it's the 100th anniversary of the BBC, and the biggest thing to really come out of Doctor Who, other than the Doctor and the TARDIS, is the Daleks. But at the same time, were the Daleks really necessary? I think they were just a bit of an unneeded addition. Though they did make for some quite funny moments, especially when the Master's playing Rah Rah Rasputin, and it's just them turning to each other like, yeah, let's let him have this moment. Speaking of the Master, Sacha Dhawan, God, he was absolutely loving it this episode, and to see him as technically the 14th Doctor was honestly just perfect. Yeah, Sacha Dhawan was just loving the entire thing. You can tell from beginning to end, he enjoyed every single moment of it, and his performance fully reflected that. He had some really funny moments as well, saying that Kate Stewart's dad was an idiot, and talking about Auntie Vanessa, and of course Ace calling him half cat last time she met him. Back to the Daleks, the Dalek Traitor. The Dalek Traitor, I think, may have been slightly, well, when it comes to the voice at least, was based off of the Dalek Prime Strategist. Of course, it wasn't him because he immediately gets destroyed and there's no hints towards it. But it was nice to see Nick kind of reuse some of his older stuff, just like he did with the Cybermen's voices, really. Though it does seem the Doctor's forgotten about Rusty, saying that it's the first Dalek to have ever really helped her, as technically Rusty was the first Dalek to be completely anti-Dalek. The Doctor, of course, as I previously mentioned, sort of, Doctor and Yaz meeting Tegan and Ace. Wow, the opening moment for those four meeting, I don't think it could have been done better. Just having the Doctor finally meet people that they hadn't seen in literally decades is something that's quite difficult to do, and of course the actors just perfectly pulled it off. It was quite nice to see that it wasn't just, oh, hello, how you doing? It's Tegan's actually quite mad at the fact that they haven't met up. Though I guess later on in the episode they did kind of address that with the AI hologram showing up as Peter. Speaking of which, Peter Davison, Colin Baker, Paul McGann, David Bradley, Sylve, all of them together again. I don't think many people expected them all to appear. I feel I'm going to repeat myself when it comes to all this. I don't think anyone expected much of that stuff to happen. All sorts of theories going around, but not many of them were right, and that's honestly for the best. I think the BBC not really advertising it much and keeping the information that we have on it quite limited at best was honestly perfect, because there's people that we didn't even expect to come back. Right at the end of the episode, there we've got William Russell, Bonnie Langford, Katie Manning, all appearing as their characters. I mean, William Russell's 97 years old. No one expected him to come back. It's a shame Carol Ann Ford didn't, but at the same time, it's nice to see all the other ones coming. Though it does make sense that Carol Ann Ford didn't really return. Though speaking of returning characters, Graham's entrance was a bit odd. He does kind of just appear out of nowhere, and it's quite weird to see that he's just ended up in Bolivia on quite short notice. Though it can be forgiven, I guess, when it comes to the ending. Because, of course, Bradley Walsh is always a win when it comes to this kind of stuff. Other things, they've kind of retconned Tegan and Nyssa, which a lot of people on Doctor Who Twitter are going to be very, very mad about. She mentioned she had two husbands, but didn't mention Nyssa in the slightest, which is a massive shame. But, you know, what can we do? Chibnall's done his work, and that's that. That's the end of it. If you've seen the title, you understand exactly what I mean, because that's what I think. It's Chibnall's masterpiece. Chibnall has finally crafted the perfect story. He's taken his years, he's almost 6 years now, of Doctor experience, and even further than that with his solo stories that he's written, and he's just put it all into one and made, honestly, a much bigger fan service episode than the 50th. And it feels like this is the 50th, but on a bigger scale. But at the same time, while it's got more shock moments, I don't think it'll have the same feel-good factor that the 50th anniversary does, where you see the Time War finally, and you see everything that Russell's put together being finally tied together by Stephen Moffat. I don't think this episode will have the same effect in later years as the 50th does now, where people will enjoy it as much. Though I'm sure people will still enjoy this episode. The whole shock of seeing everyone and seeing all the fan stuff come in will wear off eventually, and it might be like the 50th, where when the poll comes out, everyone's going to have voted Power of the Doctor to be first if it's on there, just like they did with the 50th, but then later on everyone will calm down, but I guess we'll have to see on that one. I like also little references such as, speaking of Croydon, where of course Sarah Jane Smith is from, and she was dropped in Aberdeen, so Yaz just decided to drop them all in Croydon. And that's about all I got. The regeneration, of course, David Tennant. People expected it, people didn't think it would be him, people thought it would be Shooty, people thought it would be someone else, people thought they wouldn't actually put it up. There's so many theories going around, but no one knew for sure that David Tennant would do it. Though, in hindsight, it does make sense considering that we know David's going to be in the next story. But as we've all seen in the Next Time trailer, if you did watch it, of course, though you might not have, because it was quite easy to miss, Ncuti Gatwa is going to be appearing in the 60th, though which one of the, I think it's 3 stories, Lord knows. But anyway, guys, that's just my rather long thoughts and reaction on the episode. Honestly, I completely enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think that's the best Chibnall story yet, by far. And probably the best of his era. And anyone can argue with me in the comments on that, but you'll never change my mind, because it was absolutely fantastic. More videos will be coming out soon. I know I said in the last one that I would be releasing more in a more frequent pace, and then I just didn't. But, you know, things get in the way, life gets in the way. Though I've got a bit of free time, so I should be trying to get as many done as possible, and I'll release them over a certain period of time, God knows. But I will be trying to pick up the pace again and release more. I just need to get some more ideas out there, get them filmed, script edited, everything. The audio series, Luke's Cauldron. I've got a few ideas. Well, I've got it all planned out, a few ideas in the works, and just need to get all the scripts done, recorded. So more of those should be coming eventually. May take quite a few months, though. And of course, with other videos, History of series will just be continuing, etc. But thanks for listening, and I hope you all enjoyed the episode. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you all have a great day.